Today, we are going to be rebuilding Newcastle United from FIFA 14 all the way to FC 24. The richest club in the world, the team that I support, and yes, no, don't worry, I supported them well before they became the richest club in the world. But this is what they looked like way back in 2014 under the Mike Ashley era. There are probably very few players that the average football fan would recognize, but Tim Krul is definitely one of them. Debussy ended up going to Arsenal at one point. Surely the streets will never forget Hatem Ben Arfa. This bloke had the dribbling ability of Messi on his day. Aside from that, you're maybe not going to recognize a lot of names if you weren't a Newcastle fan, like Papi Cisse, you might know, scored that ridiculous black magic goal against Chelsea that just swerved like crazy. But today, people, I'm going to take the richest club in the world, Newcastle United, well before they got that crazy takeover. And I'm going to try to do something that Newcastle United has failed to do for the last 50 plus years, and that is win a trophy. Literally any trophy. We will take it. We're going to sign and sell players in FIFA 14 throughout the season, and then at the end of the season, we're going to take the exact same team over with us to FIFA 15. Doing that all the way to FC 24, so lads, be sure to like, be sure to subscribe, and let's get into it. Again, our finances way off what they are nowadays. We've only got 17 million to work with. Again, this is when Newcastle was owned by Mike Ashley. I'm going to start this rebuild off by preventing the sale of a couple of players. One is a goalkeeper, Fraser Forster, went to Celtic. I'm also going to stop Danny Simpson leaving, and I'm going to stop Demba Ba from joining Chelsea. So ladies and gentlemen, we can now actually bring back the Senegalese strike partnership of Demba Ba and Papi Cisse. Another streets won't forget sort of striker partnership. Let's keep them a little bit longer together. I'm transfer listing just a ton of players that we do not really need and that I do not want and that I want to let go of. Trying to bump that finance number up as much as possible because we're going to need to do a lot of work early on. So I'm going to try and sell as many of these players as I possibly can. I mean, we'll just see how much money I can actually get for these players. But Yanga Biwa, despite being actually one of our higher rated players, he can probably go. I'll hold on to Colaccini, and we're definitely not getting rid of him to Sunderland. Now, I'm in a bit of an awkward position here because one of the players is Cheick Tiote that we've just gotten an offer for. And obviously, if you know, he very tragically passed away quite young. He also ended up leaving Newcastle around about this time. It feels a bit awkward. I just wanted to acknowledge it and just say, rest in peace. Johan Gouffran, I could probably let go of him. And after trying to sell as many players as possible a week away from the start of the Premier League season, we've managed to increase the budget up to about 30 million. And with that money, I'm going to try to sign these players a lot early on, yes. But a backup goalkeeper that might end up fighting for the starting spot, Kasper Schmeichel, we can get on the cheap. In the last year of his contract, only worth $1 million. I'm going to go with not just one, not just two, but three Frenchmen here. Of course, Newcastle back in the day, we were obsessed with signing French talent. Well, how about this? Kalidou Koulibaly, and yes, for those of you that are saying, oh, he's not French, look at the flag, bro. Look at the flag, don't argue. Samuel Umtiti while he was with Lyon, and also Kingsley Coman. He's on loan. He's worth absolutely nothing, still at PSG. Let's sign him nice and early. I'd love to pick up Wilfried Zaha. Now, it looks like he has recently gone to Manchester United, but we all know his time at Manchester United didn't quite work out, so we can take him off their hands. And after all that, if we have enough money, I'd be kind of interested in going for Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. This was a man that nearly joined Newcastle United in real life, and it didn't quite end up happening, but still. I'm just going to start throwing down offers for these players and hoping for the best. I'm also going to give back Gabriel Oberton to Manchester United as part of the deal because he might end up costing us a little bit to get as well. So we've got those five in then. Schmeichel is in, Umtiti is in, Koulibaly is in, and then we have got Zaha, and then we have got Kingsley Coman. And we still have about 15 million left over, so maybe we can get Aubameyang. Looks like he only just joined Dortmund, so maybe we have to wait till next season. If that's the case, I'm going to try to sign instead maybe a high-rated midfielder, the most or the best player I can afford with that cash. Sami Khedira is worth 10.5. I mean, are we likely to sign a Real Madrid midfielder to Newcastle? I mean, it's very unlikely, but I suppose we have signed players from Real Madrid before. Whether they've worked out or not is to be debated, but I am going to try it nonetheless. We've also got Blaise Matuidi here, and we also technically have Nemanja Matic, but I have no idea what their values are. So I might just throw 10 million their way and hope for the best and hope it's not too much. Real Madrid have actually accepted for Sami Khedira. Okay, where PSG have also accepted for Blaise Matuidi. What's the better deal? It's a weird one because I assume Matuidi's going to have a similar overall, at least in the near future, and they'll probably be as good as each other. Oh man, what do I go for? Part of me wants to stick with the French theme and just go for another Frenchman in Matuidi, but to be honest, I don't know if I've ever signed Sami Khedira in any career mode ever. So I might just break the mold here and let's just get the best player possible and spend basically every cent we have in order to get him. We already have two French center midfielders in Yohan Cabaye and Moussa Sissoko anyway, so let's swap out one of them, bring in Sami Khedira. Newcastle United were able to finish a respectable 10th place back then this season, so what are we going to do after all the mega moves we've just put on? Well, I mean, apart from Manchester United getting a 100+ point season, fair play, we have actually had a fairly solid season. We've come in 7th place. I don't know if that means we get like any sort of European football next season. I'm pretty confident coming in 7th place, you normally sometimes get Europa League or something, right? So I think we might actually have Europa League next season. Fantastic start then. Oh my God, brilliant. We do not obviously get to the final of the Capital One Cup or the FA Cup. I mean, we're maybe a little way away from that. But I mean, we've acquired some decent talent already, and we've also added in some youngsters who are going to, take this team forward in the future. But with that said, there is still a lot of work I know I still have left to do. Here are your substitutes, here are your reserves, and let's move on over into FIFA 15. This season, Newcastle United's biggest sale away was that of Matteo Debuchy. He went for about 15 odd million to Arsenal. My next best right back right now is Ryan Taylor, 73 rated, so I'm likely, gonna hang on to Debuchy. As for the signings they made this season, I'm gonna recreate. I will go with Remy Cabella, who they signed from Montpellier, and I'm also gonna pick up Jose Perez. They only got for 2 million from Tenerife, and I think that's great money, really. Only 73 rated now, but we know he gets better than that. Like, that's great business. I also technically made Loic Remy a permanent transfer. We only had him on loan last season, but I think I have very fond memories of this man at Newcastle, even in his loan spell, so I'm bringing him back. We signed some centre backs and we signed some wingers last season. I think this season, the focus is probably going to be in the midfield, centre midfield, and maybe a left back. By the way, if you were wondering why there was no Hatem Ben Arfa in that starting 11, I'm not sure why he's not in FIFA 15 at the moment. He'll come back for FIFA 16, hopefully. Here's how the shortlist is looking this time around. I have a left back, maybe not a starting left back, but someone I still want to get anyway, Nathan Ake. I would love to bring in him. Only going to cost us, hopefully just 2 million flat. 1.5 maybe could have got it done, but either way. After that, I've got a long list of centre midfielders. Nicolo Barella is only 60 rated. Might go for him. Marcus Llorente, 61 rated. Could go for him. And some other midfielders slightly higher rated in the 70s. One I've really got my eye on, N'Golo Conte. I know he's only 72 rated, but I've heard things about this fella. I've been told he covers more of the earth than water does, like he's just got an engine on him. And another fella, Marcelo Brozovic, only just in the 70s, and I reckon maybe we could get him for on the cheap as well. So we are going to offer for these players 6 million for N'Golo Conte. Brozovic also is going to be worth about 6. I might maybe pass on that. For now anyway, just because I still need enough money to be able to sign the rest of these fellas. And look at this. Nicolo Barella has just signed, so we won't be able to get him. Of course. Maybe I will try to get him then. I'll add like Sylvain Marveau into the deal plus like, let's say 2 mil. I might sell Jonas Gutierrez here, hopefully leaving the club in a bit of a better way than he did in real life. And those funds help us get the deal done here. N'Golo Conte. We signed him up alongside Brozovic, alongside Marcus Llorente, and also shout out Nathan Ake, who we picked up as well, alongside another signing that was made in real life this season, Jamal Lascelles, future Newcastle captain. We actually still have a little bit of budget left over, close to 7 million. That's probably too much to pick up Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, but Florian Thauvin is a man that Newcastle used to have on their books, and then he left, and he ended up being quite decent in the French league. I reckon, again, because we don't actually have a real good starting right midfielder right now, I could maybe go for him and bring him back. I can definitely get rid of Mike Williamson, I reckon, so let's do that. Plus, oh well, how about 5 million? Is that enough? Marseille are not interested in the player involved in the deal. I can't say I blame them. How about Ryan Taylor instead, and we bump it up to 7 million maybe? Finally, we get somewhere with Florian Thauvin. Welcome back to Newcastle, Florian Thauvin. Let's see how he goes this time around. He moves into right midfield and he will kick on and get into the 80s and hopefully be a nice lock for us for a few years in that position. Jesus Christ, we've had to do a fair bit of work this season. I mean, we're having to do a lot of work early. Let's not forget too, because the last season we made it into the Europa League. I wonder how we get on this season. Newcastle in real life finished 15th in the Premier League this season, so you throw Europe on top of that, I just hope we can stay in the Premier League. It doesn't hinder us too much being in Europe. We come in 8th place in the league. I mean, that's okay, but at the same time, it won't get us back into Europe. Capital One Cup was won by Man City, and so too was the FA Cup. Look at that, bro. We got to the semi-finals this early. Nearly making an FA Cup final is probably a good sign. As for Europa League, we appear to have tied 3-3 on aggregate with Wolfsburg, but they went through instead of us. Unbelievable. Well, that's unfortunate, but anyway, it's better than the 15th place that Newcastle got in real life this season. We're heading in the right direction. How will the team continue to evolve in FIFA 16? Now, Newcastle did something a bit weird this season, something they didn't normally do back in the day, and that was actually spend a bit of money. They signed Gini Wijnaldum for about £20 million. They signed Alexander Mitrovic as well. So Gini Wijnaldum, we are going to complete the signing of, and I reckon we'll hang on to him. I don't think I'm going to let him go to Liverpool down the line. We're also going to hang on to Alexander Mitrovic, even though he isn't actually yet going to push for the starting 11. You may also notice another striker here, Ivan Toney. Yeah, Newcastle signed a very young Ivan Toney for just £360,000. 19 years of age from League 2 Northampton. And we didn't hang on to him. What a shame then. For now, this is the best starting 11 that we can form. A few players have gone up, some have gone down in overall. I have transfer listed a couple of players, Darlow, Haidara, and Stephen Taylor, the captain. Yeah, he's a Geordie, but I think it is time to cash in on him before he really goes down in overall. So yeah, let's accept some offers for him. He's off to Southampton. And with those players gone, our budget is now just a touch under 30 million, which is great news because I have once again stacked out the shortlist, and the man at the very top of the list is this man, Harry Kane. I'm going to try to include Cisse as part of this deal, and we're going to bump this up to maybe another 6 million on top of that. Should be enough. They want us to increase it to 11.5. Can we meet in the middle somewhere, maybe at 9 million? Yes, indeed we can, and we are going to sign Harry Kane to Newcastle. Out goes Cisse, in goes Harry Kane. This is a massive transfer for us. And it still leaves us with like 20 something million after that, so we can still get more. The values of all of these players equate to about 18 million, so I might not be able to get all of them, assuming I'm gonna have to pay more than their value. But I'm gonna throw down offers on all of them and then see who we can afford. Like Bellerin, we want a new right back. John Stones would be a lovely centre back addition, and so too at left back would be Andrew Robertson when he's only 73 overall. Ruben Neves in midfield, I could see that happening for Newcastle. And Leroy Sané before he joins Manchester City. God, I'd salivate if we could get him as well. And so here we are. We have all 5 players that have accepted a contract. We've accepted terms. I'm just going to go and pick the most important players in order, see who we can afford. Andy Robertson is definitely option number 1 for me. So we get him in. I'm concerned about the right back position as well. So Bellerin comes in next. John Stones is worth a staggering amount of money. 13 million plus Paul Dummett. So it's basically him or the other 2, really. And honestly, I think I would much rather get both Ruben Neves and Leroy Sané in over Stones. So we do not have the budget to bring in John Stones, but we make 4 other big signings. So Bellerin is in, Robertson is in, Ruben Neves is in, and so too is Leroy Sané. We've really started stacking this team with talent. Hopefully in the near future we'll really be competitive. As for right now, however, I would be quite surprised if we suddenly started pushing for the Premier League immediately. I think we're still a season or 2 away. Should also be mentioned this season that Newcastle got relegated in 2016. So Anything apart from finishing in 18th. I'll take as an improvement. Well, I can't believe I'm saying this, people, but we are in a cup final already this early. And yes, astonishing. We have got Tottenham Hotspur to face off in the final of the Capital One Cup. Two teams notorious for their lack of trophies. Only one is going to take it home, though. Both teams got a pretty nice run, to be fair, to the final, and we only had to beat Man City. That's our only upset. We're going to be without our starting centre-back partnership and bloody Yohan Cabaye. Hopefully, we will manage. We're going to have to play Koulibaly and 71 rated Jamal Lascelles in the final. Please be enough. But our first chance at a trophy, ladies and gentlemen, it's coming way earlier than I had anticipated, to be honest. Newcastle, of course, have made a bloody Carabao Cup final in recent memory. Lost that final to Manchester United, sadly. But can we win it right here, right now, though, against Tottenham? We're off and underway. Remy Cabella. The ball in is fantastic, but it's just too far away. Oh, that'll sort of work. Oh, still going, Loic Remy. We love this. And now off to the side is Zaha. But there's no one in the middle. Really no one at all. Cross will still come in anyway. And the header is coming. And there's the goal! Loic Remy! Oh my God! I can't believe that it has resulted in a goal. But Zaha, who was sent away by Loic Remy, gets the cross in. And the header from going back with the flight. Gets amazing power on it. And sends it up and over the goalkeeper to give us a 1-0 lead. Unreal stuff from Loic Remy. Why did he ever have to leave? And I can see another opening off to the left. If we can work this one out. Oh, that's gone to the wrong man. It could actually work out even better. Will he get there ahead of Vertonghen? Oh, that's such a woeful effort. Oh, it was woeful because it was blocked. All right, understandable. Well, what about on the ball in? The header is in! A second goal! And this time, it is Jamal Lascelles, I think. Oh my goodness, the 71 rated future Newcastle United captain scores here in this Carabao Cup, technically Capital One Cup final, and what a header. Oh my God, people, it's looking good early. Oh, what a steal from Remy Cabaye. Oh, this couldn't get better, could it? I reckon it might. Just needs a good ball in, which we've got. Oh, what a save. And on the rebound, it's just going our way. 3-0. Loic Remy does it again. The Frenchmen link up. Remy to Remy. Let's not count our chickens before they hatch. But it's looking like the 50-year something long drought for trophies out of Newcastle is finally going to end. Debussy. Can he hit them from some space? Oh my God! What on earth is that? Loic Remy gives it off from about 30 plus yards away. He gets the power, he gets the dip. Matteo Debussy has sealed the trophy now surely for Newcastle. Honestly, this ain't even all too unrealistic. I'm pretty confident Newcastle beat Tottenham like 5-1 on the final day of this season in real life. Are we going to get the same scoreline? Are we? I think he might be off. The strike. He's not off. You're kidding. And there is your hat trick, Loic Remy. Well, they might make it 5-1 right at the end here. Oh my God, they're going to go back right at the death. And as if too, I think that's Papi Cisse, who we just traded for Harry Kane. Maybe it would have been a different scoreline had we not made that transfer, but 5-1, the same scoreline that they got in real life in this season. And would you believe it? Newcastle's trophy drought is over. We have beaten the real life Newcastle United record of 0 trophies in the last 10 years with this as well. So good finally at last to see the Magpies lifting up some silverware despite all the injuries and all the adversity. We finally have a trophy lift at Wembley. It may be a pretty foggy day, but the vision is clear for this football club. We are going to do bits in the next few seasons, and this will not be the only trophy we win. We don't win the, obviously, Premier League, despite winning the Carabao Cup. I mean, that would have been nice, but 6th place does mean that we are in Europe. I mean, winning the Capital One Cup, already we were in Europe. Southampton won the FA Cup. I wonder if it was us selling them Stephen Taylor. But we finish ahead of Spurs and Liverpool to secure a 6th place finish. We're in Europe for the first time in this rebuild. With our first trophy on the board and the team getting even better, it's looking very promising. Let's go to FIFA 17. Now, after getting relegated in real life, we saw obviously a big shakeup in how Newcastle United ended up looking. Musa Sissoko was sold to Tottenham, and of course Gini Wijnaldum was sold to Liverpool. There is definitely still a place for these players in this team, so we've held on to them. And all the players that were signed in this season, really, to be fair to them, were only championship quality, since of course they were in the championship. So players, for example, like Matt Ritchie, Dwight Gale, another one that they picked up, honestly, don't think I'm going to recreate a single transfer from this window. The only position in the starting 11, by the way, that isn't an 80 or higher is the left back Davide Santon, and honestly, I reckon we can try to sign someone this window, give us an all 80 rated starting 11. And look who we've got here, an 80 rated left back in Luke Shaw. I might be able to go in for him. We'd have to spend almost all of our budget on him, but I'm okay with that, honestly. Looks like we're selling on Paul Dummett as well to Leeds United, so that helps us out in getting Luke Shaw, I suppose. So Paul Dummett ends up leaving and Luke Shaw accepts his contract. This will probably be the only signing we make this season, but welcome Luke Shaw. With him in the team, we now have our all 80 rated Newcastle United starting 11. And instead of being in the second tier of England, we're in the second tier of Europe. This is what our Europa League group looks like. Hopefully we can get out of that. Can we push for the Europa League? That would be crazy. But still in the Premier League, ladies and gentlemen, what are we going to get this season? Wow, we have a phenomenal year in the Premier League, but we were 4 points away from winning it outright. Unbelievable, but we've come second. So we're in the Champions League next season. Despite our brilliance, though, in the Premier League, we don't win the Carabao Cup again. And in the FA Cup, oh my God. Oh my God. We come second in the Premier League, but Sunderland are the ones that win trophies this season. That is unreal. And despite finishing top of our group in the Europa League, we sadly are not going to win the Europa League. No silverware, but to come second to qualify for Champions League, absolutely fantastic. We are so heading in the right direction. Just can't believe, despite how good we were that season, it was Sunderland that won a trophy and not us. Crazy. Ah, well, let's go to FIFA 18. Quite a few departures that I personally took, quite personally, is what I'm trying to say. Like Tim Krul, for example, leaving on a free to go to Brighton, and Alexander Mitrovic went to Fulham. Oh, it sucked when we lost him, man. They also brought in a lot of players this season as well, like, for example, a player that I'm definitely going to recreate the signing of, Mikel Merino. I was so sure when we got this fella that we were onto such a winner. He was only a loan in from Dortmund. I don't know why we didn't try to keep him. But Mikel Merino, who is now a Euro winning player for Spain, yeah, we're going to hang on to him, I think. And another striker that they signed this season was Joselu. Yeah, from Stoke City. This man ended up doing bits for Real Madrid last season and helped them win a Champions League. Now, for Newcastle, he wasn't the greatest, but he did score the one and only goal that I saw at my first ever Newcastle game in real life. So just because of that, and just because I know that he's going to get a bit of a bump up in overall later on, I'll just hang on to him as well. A lot of players have really solidified their place in the starting 11. Schmeichel in goal, that centre-back partnership of Koulibaly and Umtiti, it's been like that for a while. To be fair, pretty much the entire spine of this Newcastle team has been unchanged, but the wingers keep going in and out. Like, we've got Sane on the left now. Florian Thauvin is our highest rated right midfielder option now. We just got a fat offer for John Joe Shelby, and again, I really like John Joe Shelby for Newcastle, but 12.5 mil for him, I think I have to take it. Takes our budget now out to nearly 40 million, which we can do something with that. I think I want to use that money on a centre-back, a little bit of depth in that area needed. And look, we can either go for Kimpembe, who might cost us about 15 million, or now that we've sold Shelby, can we go for Aymeric Laporte, still at Bilbao? He would join Man City in real life this season, but can we beat them to the punch? The player is not for sale at all. We can't even go in for an offer. You're telling me if I was to offer them 200 mil, they're not even going to give me the time. So be it then. I've still got Colaccini. I might try to go for Kimpembe and trade Colaccini with PSG. And Unai Emery is actually going to take this, plus 14 mil. Let's just, yeah, sure. Okay, no worries. So we get rid of a 35-year-old degrading centre-back in overall. God, that's a That's a brutal way to describe Colaccini. I apologize. But we replace him with a man, 21 years of age here in Kempempe, and he will push for a starting 11 spot. Of course, this season we are in the Champions League, so we have Bayern, Spartak Moscow, and Celtic to face off against. How will we go in the Champions League? We also nearly won the Premier League last season, but can we go one better this time and get that first place? Wow, look at this. We have got 3 points on Chelsea with a game to go. Our goal difference is looking good. It's not mathematically over, but surely we are on the cusp now of winning our first Premier League title. And oh God, look at who it's against. We are playing Chelsea in what is almost, in a weird way, a Premier League final. So looking at the information, the goal differences and everything, the points, basically Chelsea need to beat us by 4 goals at least in order to win the Premier League. All we have to do is not lose by more than 4 goals, or more than 3 goals, technically. Well, you know what? How about this? Let's just not lose the game at all. Let's just get out there, win it, and win this Premier League in some style. Absolutely unreal that the first and second place teams would face off on the final day like this. But oh, what a tantalizing finish. Harry Kane leading out the black and white army. He's our version of Alan Shearer in modern times. With this Chelsea team looking to pull off a giant upset. I mean, can you imagine if they did, if this happened in real life and they pulled it off? But we're not even going to bother thinking about failure. We're only thinking about the victory. It will be Diego Costa to kick off this final game of the season. Backing up, backing off. Oh, the woodwork, not the rebound. And they have opened the scoring. Already super early into the game, Chelsea lead at 1-0. How unfortunate can you be off the woodwork? And of course it falls right to Hazard. Not how we were looking to start off this game here. Genie Wijnaldum, has he got some magic? In there, Tovan, ball in, backstick, hello, no way, has Sane put that off target? Oh my God, I can't believe he just totally misses the totally open goal. Slide, oh, that's a big crunching tackle, it is clean, oh, brought down, and a foul, but is it a penalty? That is right on the edge of the box. I thought it was going to be a pen. He could still score it though, eh? Oh, woodwork, and not rebounded this time. Maybe it will be. It will be again. Oh my God, no. How many rebounds do you want to give them, man? Chelsea getting more fucking rebounds than Taylor Swift. This is ridiculous. And we are going to be 2 goals down and 2 goals away from bottling this Premier League title going into halftime. If we actually allow this to happen in our own stadium to bottle our first league title in like 90 years, I will never live it down. I will actually never live this down. Genie Wijnaldum out wide. Harry Kane. Oh my God. And even Courtois is on fire. Come on. Run up the middle. Kane's got a bit of space. Oh, well, that ball is picked off. I can see it out wide. Not really worked out the way that we wanted. But look, the time is ticking down. We've given it away again. But even then, I think we should be okay. Yes, we will be okay. Chelsea win the game, but we are going to win the league itself. Why aren't we celebrating like we have? Chelsea win the game 2-0. Do we see the trophy celebrations or what? Oh, what the hell, man? The game has robbed us. Unbelievable. So we have won the Premier League, and we don't even get to see us lift it up. We're still waiting for it. What a joke, man. Ridiculous. Bloody Man City won the Carabao Cup, or Man United and Arsenal won the FA Cup, so no other silverware this season. Because we're not in the Champions League final. However, we made the Champions League semi-final. Are you kidding me? What a run in our first Champions League season in eons, like 20 years. We beat Napoli, we beat Monaco, but our luck ran out against Barcelona. Harry Kane is no longer trophyless. He captains a side to a Premier League title. Shame we don't get to see it. I hope we win another one in this rebuild. Otherwise, what the hell? But we're 2 trophies up so far. Team looks great. Let's go to FIFA 19. Now, a handful of players were brought in this season that I think I will recreate the signings of. We signed 2 players for £4 million each. One was Fabian Schär and the other one was Martin Dubravka. I think they've both been very handy for Newcastle over the last few years, and I reckon we can bring them in. We also brought in a player for like £24 million from the bloody MLS, But, you know, mixed opinion, he turned out sort of okay. Miguel Almiron, a player that literally won the Premier League Player of the Month, and then a few seasons later, just went, oh, I don't know. He's such a weird player, but he's got not too bad of an overall. Hell, to make our bench right now is impressive because the starting 11 looks like this now. We've swapped up the formation a bit to go to a 4-3-3. Sane on the left, Tovan still on the right, Kane up top. The midfield's the same. The backline's pretty much still the same as well. Rocking this formation with Wijnaldum, with Robertson, a handful of other kind of cheeky plays. We're looking a little bit like Liverpool around about this time. Except instead of Mane, we've got Sane. Also, by the way, shout out to Sean Longstaff, who came up from the Youth Academy. We haven't had too many Youth Academy players that have come through and we know will reach sort of okay value. So I reckon we can hang on to Sean Longstaff just because he's one of the rare Academy graduates that's going to get up to a decent-ish overall. I'm a little bit concerned with our reserve goalkeepers. Tim Krul and Fraser Forster are getting a bit older, so I'll bring in a younger one, and I'm thinking either Unai Simon or David Raya here, one of these Spanish goalkeepers. I'm definitely more leaning towards Simon. Can we include Fraser Forster as part of this deal? They have said no. We're going to have to pay straight cash, but that's fine. Or actually, they said they wanted a fullback. Maybe I can add Davide Santon in. And they're going to take it. Plus $1 million, we can do that. So nice. Unai Simon in the backups for now, and Dubravka is the backup to Schmeichel, who will still hold the starting goalkeeper spot for a while. All 80 rated team, our lowest rated player in the starting 11 is Bellerin, and I know he's going to go down a little bit in overall, so maybe a right back, a real high rated right back. We still have like 30 million. We could maybe get someone nice. I was going to go for Aaron Wan-Bissaka, but it looks like he's actually been snaked under our nose by Wolfsburg of all teams. He's gone and joined in the Bundesliga. All right, I wasn't expecting that. Plan B is Reece James, 72 rated. I mean, he probably won't start for us over Bellerin, but I get the feeling he'll probably find his way in the starting 11 at some point. So we're going to get him signed up quick and promptly. Reece James becomes the backup right back. I am sure he will become the starting right back over Bellerin in a season or two. We are reigning Premier League champions. We're still in the Champions League. What do we get this season? Can we go back-to-back in England? We are not going to go back-to-back. In fact, we don't even finish inside the top 4. We're back into the Europa League, man. Bloody frustrating. Carabao Cup was won by Leicester. FA Cup final. We have made the final. We are taking on Liverpool. So that's nice. At least we are still in for some trophies this season. Haven't made the final of the Champions League, so it's only the FA Cup that we could get this season. Will it be our day again at Wembley Stadium? We have been here before with the Carabao Cup and we took care of business. But now we need to do it again against a Liverpool side that back in the day around this time, they were absolutely on fire. To be fair though, we've robbed a decent amount of their players, like Wijnaldum. We've of course taken Robertson as well. Hopefully that'll help us out in getting the dub today at Wembley. Let's go get this win. I just got that off there. Come on now. Oh, man down. Man down! Here comes Kane! Surely, Harry Kane, you've got to! He doesn't! Rebound! Saved again by Alisson. Oh, yeah, come on, another good break. We are having a good half. We just need to make it count for something. A ball in. That's just shit. All that attacking, all those shots, and what do we get for it? Absolute sweet FA. Maybe from the corner. Oh, my God, he's out again. Lay that one off. Have a go on the volley. That's going to get blocked. Through again this time. Blocked. No. No! This time! And Sami Khedira is the goal scorer. Wow. Finally, the opportunity, and it's an N'Golo Kante backheel to a Sami Khedira bottom corner finish, which has gone through the legs of Matip. I thought it would get blocked. The persistence has paid off. Those two link up, the center midfield duo. How good. The ball is cleared away. They might have a chance to counter-attack. They won't get a chance. The time is up. And we have won the FA Cup. Come on, man. We have not had the best Premier League season. We've fallen out of the top 4, but we have secured an FA Cup, which means we have won every single English trophy in this rebuild so far. Get in there, lads. We have done it. Won it all so far in England. But in Europe, that is where I want to shift our attention to. Of course, don't get me wrong. Love to keep stacking on the trophies in England. But now that we have taken care of business in all English competitions, getting that Champions League would be special. Not that we're going to be competing in the Champions League next season. Liverpool tried their best to deny us, or should I say Alisson tried his best to deny us, but we get the job done. Now let's move over to FIFA 20. This season, Newcastle bought 2 players for, to be honest, money that at the time was seen as quite a fair bit, but they both paid off. The first one was Alan Saint-Maximin for about 20 million euros, and the other one was Joel Linton for a little over 40 million euros. Now, Joel Linton nowadays is seen as one of the best physical midfielders in the Premier League, but before that, he was a 77 rated striker who couldn't really score. We know what he's going to turn into though in the future, so we're hanging on to him, and I think I might hang on to Alan Saint-Maximin as well, hopefully for the whole rebuild. I don't want to send him off to Saudi Arabia. The back line is still the same with the same keeper. The midfield is the same. We have Kingsley Coman move into right wing. And I reckon this could be the last season maybe that we have this Wijnaldum, Conte, Khedira partnership in midfield. We've got too many other great players coming up like Brozovic and Neves, Marcos Llorente, Mikel Merino's up to an 80 as well. But the team is still looking fantastic. It should be able to compete, hopefully even better this time around in the Europa League. We've got a pretty standard group. Can we win our first European trophy this season here in the Europa League? Oh my God, are we on for a ridiculous finish once again? Liverpool and Newcastle, both with over 100 points with 1 game left to go in the season. Ridiculous again. They've got a high goal difference, 1 more point. And just like a few seasons ago, the last game of the season is at St. James's Park against the team we're fighting for the title with. This time, instead of trying not to lose by 3 or 4 goals, we need to win this game. This is an even crazier scenario. We have to win it now, and they haven't lost a single game all season. What in the hell are these simulations cooking up? This storyline is ridiculous. Again, twice this is happening. The craziest finale in Premier League history doesn't even last 2 years. We are right back at St. James's Park for another decider. We beat Liverpool in the FA Cup final last season. I'm sure they're going to want some revenge. And of course, they want to hold on to their invincible Centurion season. What in the hell? 8 goals in the last 3 games for Leroy Sané. Well, I know who to feed the ball to tonight then, that's for sure. Here we go again then, people. This time, we have to win it. Let's go get this Premier League. Oh no, that's a terrible spot to give it away. Not Henderson. Not Henderson. Not like this. Strike. Henderson has scored! Oh my God, not again. Give it away in a horrible spot. And wow, we've just gone and conceded so early once again. How does that ball not get one after that slide tackle, man? Worst case scenario for him to be the one to put us down 1-0 so early as well. Oh, that'll do as a lovely ball. Kingsley Coman and Sané. And again. Oh, come on, great footy. Coman, he will level the game up very quickly. Get in. Come on, Kingsley Coman at the Gallowgate end. That is what we want to see. Lovely little 1-2-3 between the front 3 of Newcastle United. Our disastrous, horrid start has been wiped off immediately. Oh, Kane, brilliant ball. Wijnaldum of all people, that would be brilliant. Oh, it's Genie. Genie, Wijnaldum to score against Liverpool. He could have gone there in real life. We held on to him. How about this deft little pass from Kane just to send him away? He was on his way, and Wijnaldum has beaten Alisson. Lovely strike, bottom corner, hard and low, and we are 2-1 up. You beauty. Looks like he's had a pretty good season in the Premier League as well. Surely Liverpool will kick it off, and that'll be the end of the first half. It surely has to be. Thank you very much. Unreal. We're top of the table, for the time being at least anyway, and we're about to serve Liverpool their first loss of the season as it stands. But it is not over yet. Oh, he's picked it off. You beauty, Sané. And now up over the top. Wijnaldum with pace. Sané gets in there. Right foot. Right foot. Right foot. I love that one too. The Spaniards are linking up. We got a real attack going on now. Sane is again away. This time you can use your left foot, Sane, if you want. Oh, come on! The comeback is maybe complete now in the top left-hand corner. Leroy Sane, he sure knows how to terrorize the Liverpool Football Club. Unbelievable season for Leroy Sane as well. I think we might be able to see a Premier League trophy lift after all. Surely. That is going to be it now. That is it. It is the win. It is the Premier League title. The undefeated streak, the invincible season is over, and we snatch the Premier League title off them at home in the last game of the season. The craziest, most insane Premier League season finish you will ever see. We may have won this trophy already in this rebuild, but we're seeing it now for the first time. Come on. And it will be lifted, finally, by Captain Harry Kane at St. James's Park with the black and white ribbons and all. Get in. Gosh, just an insane finale to a Premier League season. I don't know if there's any topping that. That is for sure. 105 points. We win 35 out of 38 games, mate. Ridiculous. We lost. God damn, I can't speak. I'm actually speechless, bro. We lost a Carabao Cup final to Arsenal, which is no good. And in the FA Cup, we lost that as well. We could have done a treble in England, but what? 2 1-0 losses in the cup finals. God, thank God we did win the Premier League. Imagine if we lost that as well. That would have been so brutal. Our Europa League run was not that impressive at all either. Round of 16 exit to Lazio. That's the best we can do. We have been just so poor in Europe, man. We had that one season where we got just to the semi-finals of the Champions League, and then nothing since. But either way, we add a second Premier League in the craziest way possible. Hell yeah, let's go to FIFA 21. Now, this season, again, Newcastle picked up a very handy player for them in real life in Callum Wilson for about 22 mil. Look, we have so many players already. I am going to get Callum Wilson, but let's be honest here. These reserves are starting to get a bit maybe out of hand. I'm getting a little bit savage, and I'm going to literally sell so many players. Like Loic Remy is still here. Khedira, who was a starting center midfielder for us, I think he's on the way down. I'm going to sell him for just a bit of cash. Sissoko, even Jamal Lascelles, Perez, and Almiron. I'm just going to get them off the books, bring in a bunch of cash. Or at least, to be fair, that is the plan. I am hopeful we'll be able to sell most of these players. Well, fast forward a bit. I have been able to sell some of the players. Our budget's up to almost 70 mil. We've gotten rid of Sissoko, Almiron, Remy, Jamal Lascelles. We still have Sami Khedira and Perez, though. And these are the players that have made the shortlist for FIFA 21 now. Declan Rice, Vinicius Jr. Why not go for him? We've got Florian Wirtz, another player I think will develop into something quite special, only 17. And then there's this other 17-year-old Jude Bellingham. Now, we're not going to be able to get all of these players. In fact, if we were to go for just Vinicius, yeah, that would be all of our budget gone. So I'm going to be smart here. Instead of spending all my money on either Declan Rice or Vinicius Jr., I'm going to go for Florian Wirtz, should set us about 30 million back. And then I'm going to go for Jude Bellingham. He'll set us back about 20 mil. That's pretty much all of our budget, and we get those two comfortably. So hell yeah, people. Wirtz is in and Jude Bellingham is in. Decent use of the cash, that I reckon, and hopefully in the Champions League this season, we're back into it. We can push with the team for a final appearance. This season, Liverpool get their revenge brutally. We just fall short in the Premier League title race this time. Man City take home the Carabao Cup, and the FA Cup was taken home by Wolves, but yeah, not us. And as usual, a less than impressive run of it in the European competition with, of course, us getting paired up to Real Madrid super early, round of 16, and we go out on pens. This team gets 94 points and doesn't win anything. That is tough, my boy. Still chasing trophy number 5. Let's go to FIFA 22.
Some more, what are the twists? Think I didn't tell you.
Now, this season, ladies and gentlemen, 2021-2022 was one of the biggest seasons for Newcastle United ever, because it was the season that the takeover officially happened. Newcastle got the richest owners in world football, and they spent that money on some pretty damn good players in the January transfer window. Players like Bruno Guimaraes, Kieran Trippier as well. We're going to sign those players, those two. Trippier immediately becomes the starting right back over Reece James, over Bellerin. Newcastle also spent money like 30 million on players like Chris Wood, who I'm pretty confident only scored like 2 goals for the club in his entire time here. But hey, whatever, it works. We are going to go for those 2 players. The starting 11 now looks like this. It is fantastic looking. I mean, the lowest rated player is 83. Everyone's there or they're about a mid 80 overall. It's fantastic. I do still even now have players I could probably let go of, like Hector Bellerin, Florian Thauvin we can probably sell on. I couldn't get rid of Jose Perez last season. I'll try again now. And even Alexander Mitrovic, honestly, now I don't really see getting much game time, if any. And halfway through the bloody transfer window, I still haven't received any offers for any of these players. Why won't anyone pick them up? Like, seriously, I've advanced all the way to deadline day now, and all I'm seeming to get right now are loan offers I am not interested in, and offers for Alan Saint-Maximin, who I don't really want to sell. Look, we may just keep the team as is. It is what it is. That's okay, I suppose. Will it be able to get us a 3rd Premier League title? No, the answer is no. We are, again, going to finish outside of the top 4. It's so weird. We either decide we are Premier League champions or we're not even good enough for the top 4. Carabao Cup? No, unfortunately. FA Cup? No, unfortunately. In the Champions League, however, god damn, we for the 2nd time, we make it to the semi-final. Just within touching distance of the final, but this time we are pretty convincingly dealt with, sadly, 6-2 on aggregate. Trophyless it is this season. Ouch. 2 seasons now in a row we are not going to win a title with a team this good. And with only 2 seasons left, I mean, we're actually running out of opportunities to win in Europe now. We got to step up and do some big moves in FIFA 23. Now then, in this season for Newcastle United, they made again plenty more signings, big money signings after the big takeover. And I'm going to recreate quite a few of them, okay? Starting off with Nick Pope, the goalkeeper. We're going to get Sven Botman in for 37 million. Anthony Gordon they signed for 45 million. But the most expensive signing that they made was Alexander Isak for 70 million from Real Sociedad. Gordon's only 75 rated, however. Isak is only 80 rated for now. They will be way higher next season. In fact, the only player that we signed this season that's actually getting in the starting 11 is Nick Pope. 83 rated. After finishing 5th last season, we're back in the Europa League. Honestly, if we're not going to win the Champions League next season, if we get into it at all, this could be the last opportunity we have to actually win something in Europe. And with a team as good as ours, surely we're getting out of that group. Can we please make the final of any European competition? We have a mega budget. Of course we would now since the takeover. No more $20, $30 million budgets. And part of me is wondering, is it actually possible if I were to go for, say, a Kylian Mbappe at this stage? What if I tried letting go of N'Golo Kanté plus 100 million? Does that get me anywhere? It gets me nowhere even close. Nowhere even remotely close. We may be rich, but we're not still quite signing Kylian Mbappe for a transfer fee rich. Maybe instead another move I might go for is a really highly rated goalkeeper, someone like Gianluigi Donnarumma. We obviously just signed Nick Pope, but he's only 83 rated, one of the lowest rated players in the starting 11. Having a good goalkeeper, man, can go a long way. Nick Pope plus 80 million, and they say, ooh, that's still quite a lot. I'm gonna offer 110. If they don't take that, I don't think it's gonna happen. It is gonna happen! Oh dear, what's this? Oh dear, we do not have an awful lot of wage here. This is concerning. Oh dear, I don't think we're gonna have the funds to sign him. This is ridiculous. And now we're in bloody deadline day. Oh my God, we haven't been able to get anything done. I might be able to accept this offer here for Martin Dubravka, and the transfer talk's broken down. Bro, everything is impeding me. Why can't I sign anyone this season? Can't sign or even sell anyone. Like, whatever. I'm leaving it there. We are just going to advance and push on forward. It's still a solid team. It can hopefully win the Premier League again. can it get to a final of the Europa League? Surely. Oh my God, it's a stinker. It's a stinker of a season. We're not top 4. We are not going to be in the Champions League unless we have made the Europa League final itself. Holy crap. Carabao Cup, no good. FA Cup, won by Crystal Palace. And the only way for us to get into the Champions League now is if we made the Europa League final. Have we made the Europa League final? We have made the Europa League final, but look at who the hell we have to play in the Europa League final. We have to face Bayern. Jesus Christ, how did they end up in there? Crazy. I know before I was saying this team looks a little resemblant of Liverpool, having taken some players off of them. Well, we've taken a fair few Bayern players as well, so hopefully they'll be a bit weaker. We need this win to avoid going trophyless for 3 straight seasons and to keep ourselves in with a hunt of winning the Champions League itself. Still don't believe Bayern Munich have fallen into the Europa League. That is absolutely like astonishing. Of course, when they would, we'd have to face them in the final. But come on, lads, we can do this. I believe we have got to get this, our 5th trophy of the rebuild, and hopefully our first European trophy. Game time. Kane gets it off and underway. Thank you, Bellingham. Gone for the finesse from way out. Oh, Kingsley Coman with a screamer with a Lamine Yamal type goal, man. Bellingham off to the side, and he just curls this so perfectly into the corner. Not even Neuer could reach it. Against his old side, yes. Can't really start off much better than that. Immediately taking the lead. Bellingham's charging forward. We got, oh, Conte. Kane's holding his man up. Up over the top. I see it. Oh, down for him. And through the near post. Oh, Neuer's not having a good day. And would you believe it? Both of the Bayern wingers that we have signed, or eventually would be Bayern wingers, have put the ball past Neuer. What in the hell is going on with Bayern? They've fallen all the way to the Europa League and now they're playing like this. Oh my God. What play this is. I'm starting to get oh man, a little out of shape here. Well, I'm pretty happy with that first half. Amazing way to get it underway. Mason Mount. What's Mason Mount doing in this team? What's Madison doing in this team? Please stop the cutback. Oh, thank God Unai Simon. Oh, yeah, what a release. Here comes Sane. Don't think I can find Kane yet, but I have got Coman in the middle. It's got to be a third. It will be. Oh, Neuer gets something on it, but again, his horror day continues. This link-up, man, it's too good between goddamn Leroy Sane and Kingsley Coman. This is what Bayern's missing. And you know what else Bayern are probably going to be missing? Oh, my God, that trophy lift at the end of this game. Maybe we never needed bloody Donnarumma and whatnot. Cleared away from Conte. But ladies and gentlemen, it is over. And would you believe it, in the year 2023, Newcastle United, European champions, not quite of the Champions League, we get it done in the Europa League to Bayern Munich. I was worried we were never going to get any sort of European success in this rebuild. Well, here you go. The Europa League trophy is coming to Newcastle, and it will be lifted up by Captain Harry Kane. 5th trophy of the rebuild at long last. Finally, we get it. That win was huge for a number of reasons. Of course, one of them being we are now back into the Champions League despite finishing outside of the top 4. So we will be in the Champions League for the last season of the rebuild. So let's now take this incredible Newcastle team we've assembled all the way now to FC 24. Now this team, ladies and gentlemen, is the real life Newcastle United side as it stands. Not a bad looking team, especially since the takeover and the fact they were able to buy some pretty solid players. Obviously not a bad side by any stretch of the imagination, but I think we might have just, tweaked it up a notch. And this is the Newcastle side that we have rebuilt through 10 years of effort. The team actually really gets shaken up in the final season. Isak is now in as a left winger. The midfield looks totally different with now bloody Florian Wirtz in there. Bellingham's up to the 89. You've got Guimaraes now instead of N'Golo Conte. Nathan Ake jumps up by a ton as well. Like, it really switched up a bit. That is a amazing looking starting 11, and thank God we were able to secure our spot in the Champions League for this season, because that team can win it. 100% it can. Hell, I mean, just counting the amount of players we now have in this team that are above an 80 overall, it just keeps going, man. Again, just to recap where we're at, we have won only 5 trophies so far in this entire rebuild, but we maybe could have a big finish at the end here and hopefully put together 6, 7, 8. I don't even know. I'd be happy with that. If we can get the Champions League too, then we'll officially have won everything. But without further ado, what do we get in the final season of the Newcastle 10-year rebuild? Unfortunately, in our final season, this Newcastle United team cannot overcome a simply cracked Manchester City side. They got 99 points. We come second. Carabao Cup, they also won at Man City. And the FA Cup, of course, we just run into a cracked Pep Guardiola side to deny us any other trophies in England. And oh my God, are you serious, man? What is that group? Just like in real life, Newcastle finished bottom of the Champions League group, but this is the most brutal shit I have ever seen. We have the highest goal difference, but because it comes down to other crap like that, we end up finishing 4th. If it was just whoever had the higher goal difference, we'd come second. UEFA and their rules have just screwed us over. How do we have the exact same points as the team that came second and we come 4th? What is that? Well, I tell you what, that's probably one of the more savage things I have ever seen in these rebuilds. Getting 8 points in a Champions League group and coming 4th. It would only happen to Newcastle. Well, in the end, we only win the 5 trophies. We win that trophy in Europe. It is not the Champions League, which is maybe not ideal. But either way, there you go. We've got the rebuild done now with Newcastle United. If you have any other teams you want me to do a 10-year rebuild with, let me know, of course, in the comments down below. We are not too far away from FC 25 now, so I've only got a handful of FIFA 14 to FC 24 rebuilds left to go. Get your niche ones in while you can. I might be up to doing them, and if you have enjoyed this video, then of course be sure to like and subscribe. And of course, don't forget to click on this video as well if you have enjoyed for plenty more.